A man completes 5/8 of a job in 10 days. At this rate, how many more days will it take him to finish the job? So we have two quantities, time taken and work done. The more the time taken, the more the work will be done. So a man completes 5/8 of a job in 10 days. So the time taken is 10 days and he completes 5/8 of a job. So 5/8 is the work done. Now let us assume that the total work done is X, right? So in 10 days he does 5/8 of X. Now next we have been asked, at this rate how many more days will it take him to finish the job? Now assume that the total time taken be T, and in this total time the work done will be the complete work done. So X amounts of work will be done, right? So time taken is directly proportional to work done, hence I can take the ratio and equate. So I can find out the value of T. This X gets cancelled out. What we have is 10 by T is equals to 5/8. Therefore T is equals to 10 times 8 by 5. Therefore T is equals to 16. So 16 is the complete time taken to do the complete work, the total time, right? But we have been asked how many more days will it take him to finish the job. So in 10 days he did 5/8 of the work. So the days remaining to complete the total work is total minus 10. So 16 minus 10, that is equals to 6. So 6 days will be the time taken by this man to complete the remaining work. So option B is the correct answer. 36 men can complete a piece of work in 18 days. In how many days will 27 men complete the same work? Well, we have two quantities here, number of men and the time taken. And the more the number of men, the less time will be taken. So the number of men is inversely proportional to the time taken. So let me write it, number of men is inversely proportional to time. Okay, now let us feed the data here. We have 36 men who complete the piece of work in 18 days. So the time taken is 18 days and the number of men is 36. In how many days will 27 men complete the work? So the number of men is 27. The time is what we have to find out. So let it be X. Right. Now you cannot directly take the ratio and equate because this is an inverse proportion. So as this is an inverse proportion, we'll have to invert one of the ratios. So I have 36 by 27 is equals to, let us invert this. So I have X by 18. Okay. Now I can find out the correct value of X. So X is equals to 36 times 18 by 27. And 9 times 3 is 27, 9 times 2 is 18. And 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 12 is 36. So X is equals to 12 times 2, that is 24. So the total time taken is 24 days for 27 men to complete the work. So option D is the correct answer. A fort had provision for food for 150 men for 45 days. After 10 days, 25 men left the fort. The number of days for which the remaining food will last is. So we have again two quantities here. We have number of men and the food availability in days. Now the more the men, the more food will be consumed and the less will be the food availability in days. So the number of men is inversely proportional to the food availability. Now we have been asked what is the number of days for which the remaining food will last. Let this remaining food last for X days. Now what are the number of people remaining? Well, 25 men left after 10 days. So 150 minus 25, that is 125 men are there in the fort. Next we have 150 men whose food availability is 45 days. But if you take 45, it is wrong. You should take 35 here. Why? Because 10 days have been passed by and these 150 men ate for 10 days, right? So the food available is 35 days, right? After 10 days, the food available will be 35 days. So 150 men, the food available is 35 days. Now out of those 150, 25 have left. So the remaining men are 125 men. So hence, what is the food availability? Now this is in inverse proportion, so we will have to invert one of the ratios. So let us invert this ratio. So we can write 150 by 125 is equals to x by 35. Therefore x equals to 150 by 125 times 35. So 25 times 5 is 125, 25 times 6 is 150. So this is equals to 5 times 7 is 35. 6 7 is 42. So the food availability for 125 men is 42 days. Option C. A wheel that has 6 cogs is meshed with a larger wheel of 14 cogs. When the smaller wheel has made 21 revolutions, then the number of revolutions made by the larger wheel is. Let me tell you that cogs are nothing but the teeth on the gear wheels. Well, we have been given the number of cogs and the number of revolutions. And let me tell you that when you increase the number of cogs, that is, when you increase the number of teeth on the wheel, the number of revolutions decrease. More the number of cogs, less the number of revolutions. So the number of cogs is inversely proportional to the number of revolutions. Now that we have the relation, let's put in the data. We have a wheel that has 6 cogs, and this wheel, that is a smaller wheel, makes 21 revolutions. And it is meshed with a larger wheel of 14 cogs. So the number of cogs is 14. What is the number of revolutions? Let it be x. So these are the ratios. We have 6 by 14 is equals to, we will invert this ratio. So x by 21. So therefore x is equals to 6 times 21 by 14. 7 2s are 14, 7 3s are 21. 2 times 3 is 6. So 3 times 3 is 9. So the number of revolutions made by the larger wheel is 9. Option B.